Hey, friends, if you caught this part of the video, you caught the live, unedited edition, Home Gadget Geeks, Thursday night. It's the 9th of October, 8 p.m. in the Central Time Zone, 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. Got this any other time than that. You've got the recorded version. That's this one. We'll get started here in a few minutes. Thought we'd give it a few minutes for folks to come in and get settled in. Thanks for coming out tonight. Thanks for being a part of the live program if you are doing that. Tony, good to see you. Good to see you out here. Let me pop out the chat, get that in a place where I can see it. Good to see you, Tony. If you're out there listening live, check in. I think I'm going back to 8, by the way. I know for some of you, you like 7, but Uncle Marv, good to see you. 7 did not work for me. I made it work a few times. And John, good to see you. Made it work a few times, and then it did, like tonight. I got out of work late and tough to get here. John, good to see you on that. Uncle Marv, hello. Tony, good to see you. So we're going back to 8 when we do this. I'm upright, which is good. Last week I couldn't sit this. We'll see how long I can sit in this position for. It's been a struggle. Shoulder starts to hurt, and I just get fatigued real fast, and so makes it tough. So we'll get started here in just a second and get a show in. I got a couple things to cover. Appreciate that, Marv. That much better for you. So we'll appreciate that. We'll go back. Yeah. So we'll go back to 8. I don't have anybody scheduled at this point, so we'll go back to 8 and just set a new expectation going forward. So hopefully I'm on the mends from this nerve issue in my back, and I was sending pain down to my shoulder, down to this shoulder. It still hurts, and I still fatigue pretty quick. I'm much more comfortable in this position right here than I am sitting up, but that doesn't make for very good podcasting. So, and it's probably time. I've been laying around for a month, so it's probably time to get my act together. Start acting like an adult again. Stop just laying around everywhere. So, thanks for coming out. Again, if you're just checking in, we'll get started here in just a second. If you're just joining me, check in the chat room. Let me know you're there. Give me some. I'll need your help tonight. Left shoulder is still very, very sore, and it's a nerve kind of soreness. So it doesn't matter what I do. Massaging doesn't help. Pain meds, they dull the pain a little bit. It kind of helps, but it is. So I've been doing physical therapy, been chiropractor. We need to get through the physical therapy before the doctor will do anything. So hoping we're good. I mean, I just expected it, to be a couple days, and it's been a couple weeks. Kind of hoping every day's a little bit better. Sometimes they go backwards, but we're gonna see it out. We're gonna see it out. Last night I've been having trouble sleeping, but then so last night I woke up in the middle of the night. Yeah, it was 2:30 or whatever, 3 in the morning. I was like, oh, shoulder hurt a little bit, and I thought, oh, this, yeah, it's waking me up. And I thought, you know what? Before this, I was waking up in the middle of the night too. So not sure how much of it is an injury and how much of it was just bad sleeping habits. So we'll get it figured out. Get figured out. Hopefully it'll be gone here in next couple months. And yeah, Tony says if only he had a therapist in the house. Got a pretty good therapist. She's been working me over, so that's a good. Like right now, I've been sitting up for a few minutes. I can already feel my shoulder getting kind of sore. The one thing that's nice, I've been working through this at work, and once I get going, once I get talking, the adrenaline kicks in or whatever, and I feel better. I'd be better if I could stand. But so you'll probably see me wince a few times, make some unnecessary grunting noises, those kinds of things. So Uncle Marv, anybody, he said, hey, anybody work with U Green NAS products? Not the NAS. I tried their battery and it didn't work. I got an early version of their batteries. Tried working with it. It was what I bought before the Blue Eddy, and had to work with their support teams, and it had some problems. And they said, "Hey, just send it back." And then I got the feeling they didn't want me to have one because they didn't offer to replace it. They were just like, "Just send it back. We'll give you your money back." So I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they weren't comfortable with it, and they didn't want a podcast or reviewing it. Whatever. Got 3 reviews tonight. One I think I've talked about before, but Lutron wanted me to make a dedicated video for it, so we'll do that tonight. We'll talk about their smart outdoor plug a little bit. So I've got a video segment I can send to them, and then iPod Pro 3s are in, and I've been using those. So we'll talk a little bit about those. And then I got the new iPhone 17. So we'll be talking about that coming up. But Uncle Marv, I have not worked on their NAS. They look good. It's funny. There's just been a bunch of off-market NAS products coming out. It kind of went quiet. There was Synology and QNAP, and then there wasn't a lot more. And then, like I'm noticing with robot lawnmowers, all of a sudden, a proliferation of mowers coming out. Brand names I've never heard of before. I'm sure they're Chinese products. So, yeah, Tony says, heard good things about the hardware. Let's go here. Here we go back out. Good thing I've heard good things about the hardware still improving on the software. And yeah, Drobo's gone. Dollar sign. Ugreen seems to be price wise seems to be in a pretty good spot. I'm using Unraid. I'm kind of built the last two, right? Unraid for one box. I'm running a really small version of Open Media Vault, which I really like. Should probably do a show on that at some point. So Uncle Marv says, was asked to compare them against Synology since everyone was bailing, but Synology reversed their hard drive decision. Why were they bailing? It makes them, or it would only work with their drives or something like that. I'd give it a try. You green? I'd give it a try. They seem like they've stayed around for a while, and it seemingly is a name that's sticking around. I'd like to review one. They'd send me one. I'd review it. But Synology's been so strong for so long. Hard to say they're still not the leader. I wonder after whatever decision they made, I wonder if that'll be true. Joe says he tried Open Media Vault on a Raspberry Pi. Yeah, I've got it on that. I used that. Oh, what's the name of it now? How quickly we forget. I have a small micro, like a micro PC. What was the name of that? It'll come back here in a second. And so a little it's a little, it's a little Nook. It's got a pretty power efficient processor in it. It's got 2 gig of RAM, and man, Open Media Vault runs great on it. And the drives are questionable because I've got to plug them in via USB. So yeah, Uncle Marv says open drives on the lower end model, still certified drives on enterprise. So I could see they must have been running into some problems on the enterprise side with drives and such. There's been a lot. We had the guys talking about hard drives a couple months ago. There's been a lot of issues with counterfeit enterprise drives. So I wonder if that's a problem with it. So, okay, let me get started here before the shoulder gets too bad. And we will get this in and done. Guys, thanks for coming out tonight. Tony, Uncle Marv, Joe, John, good to see you guys. Thanks for checking in. John, I got a great story for you, by the way. Okay, let me kick this thing off. Here we go. This is the Average Guy Network, and you have found Home Gadget Geeks, show number 659 with the Lutron Smart Power Switch, AirPods Pro 3, and iPhone 17 review, recorded on October 9th, 2025. Here on Home Gadget Geeks, we cover all the favorite tech gadgets that find their way into your home, news, reviews, product updates, and conversation, all for the average tech guy. I'm your host, Jim Collison, broadcasting live from the Average Guy.tv studios here in a beautiful Bellevue, Nebraska. Fall is on the way. It's October, right? We're in October. October 9th. Fall is on the way, hopefully. 82 tomorrow. We'll post the show with some world-class show notes out at the AverageGuy.tv. Of course, big thanks to our Patreon subscribers. Each and every month, I just saw that come through. Appreciate you guys doing it. Allows us to do some stuff on the network. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. And appreciate your support on that. If you want to join the team, theaverageguy.tv/Patreon. A few of you have dropped, and that's okay. So if there's a few more of you who want to jump in, I've got one $5 plan. You can do it for a month, or you can do it for as long as you want. Many of you have been around since I opened the Patreon account, so thanks for doing that. Check it out today, theaverageguy.tv/Patreon. And then what might be easier is head over to the averageguy.tv and just click on the affiliate link for Amazon through on the site. See a little red, you see some red words up in the upper right-hand corner. Click through on those, and that will get you into it. It'll set the affiliate link, and as they say in Canada, Bob's your uncle. And so it's if you want to do that, that's helpful too. Many of you have been doing that as well. I appreciate you doing that. Check it out today at theaverageguy.tv. Big thanks to Christian. Came on 2 weeks ago. Of course, congratulations to him. New dad, pilot license, flying around, cross-country flight. That initial flight that week, it got canceled, and then he had to do a new one. I actually didn't follow up on the second one. I need to do that. It was supposed to be last weekend. Need to follow up with him, see how it goes. But big thanks for Christian being on as well, and appreciate his and, of course, Maple Grove Partners support of the podcast. It's good to be back. Got a couple reviews I'm going to do. I'll give a little bit of a health update at the end here for those of you who follow the podcast. You know that I've been struggling a little bit, a little nerve damage in my back, and it's been doing some weird things. And so it's been tough to sit. Well, hard to podcast when you can't sit. So wanted to get some things in tonight. I can't tell you how fast we'll go or how slow we will go on this one. But for those of you regular listeners, thanks for listening. And for those of you out here tonight live, thanks for coming out. A couple months ago, actually, Lutron, we talked about this in the community. I think I've talked about it on the show before, but a couple months ago, Lutron sent me their PD 150UTBL. It's basically just an outdoor smart plug-in switch. It's just a plug-in. When you think about what you would put outside, you might put Christmas lights on it. You might put deck lights on it. I run the shed off of it. It does not come standard with a hub, but you can purchase a hub with it to make it a full smart device. By itself, it's really just plug in one side, plug out the other. It's got a green, you can see on the front there, it's got a green switch on the front to turn it on and off if you want to do it manually that way. Without the hub, it is kind of manual. I did write a post on this, so I'm going to put the link right now in the chat, and it'll be in the show notes of this show as well. So let me do that if I can click the right buttons while I'm holding on to it. I'll show you that. I will show you that post that we did. If you head out to the averageguy.tv, you can see the post, the review we did on it. Talks a little bit about it. It's got a picture. There's a picture there for you of what that looks like mounted outside. I came off of the power on the deck. I leave that, as you guys know, I plug the shed in separately. It goes across the grass. I remove that plug when I'm mowing the lawn so I don't run it over. And so it was kind of handy to have an outdoor plug out there that was easy to plug into, was going to be hardy, and was going to work pretty well for what I was trying to do out in the shed area. And this fit the bill for it. One of the things, so let's talk about the pros of it, and I'll talk about a few cons. There's not a lot to it. It's just really a plug, right? When you think about it. The pro to this one, though, is, well, one, it can be paired with the hub, the Lutron hub. If you're already in the ecosystem, it's a nice add-on for it because it's automatically going to show up in the hub, and then you'll have smart controls over it. Without it, you can't plug it into Home Assistant or any of those other smart devices. I end up just going, it's attached. I just end up going out and plugging it in manually, and now push the button, make it work. But so with the hub, smart, you can plug it into smart. Without it, you can't. So there's a pro and a con for it. One of the big pros for it is it's just a tank. So think of like super thick plastic, super thick wires, and then they inject foam into the electronics. So I mean, it's been sitting out in the sun. It's gone through a summer here in Nebraska. I'll have it. I got it in the spring, so it'll go through a winter, but it's rated down to like -4. Now, every once in a while in Nebraska, we'll get -20. I have to see how it goes at -20, right? When it gets that cold, but -4 is what it's rated down to. Rated on the other end, rated to 122 Fahrenheit on that one. So I don't, if it's that hot, I'm probably not going to be outside. So I'm not going to worry about it or use it too much. Weather rated, so it can get wet. You can splash water on it, throw on it. I actually probably say you could even submerge this thing and it would work pretty well. So from a durable outside power outlet, it's a plus. Seems great, built well, super solid. It's got cutouts on it to put screws in so you can install it in. Would make a great outdoor deck plug. Okay. Um, so if you're already in the Lutron space, if you've already got a hub, you want to integrate this plug in with it, it's good. The one big drawback is just price, right? If you look these things up, I think in my review, my written review of it, I think as of the actual review, I don't maybe did I not put a price in here? The link is in there. Let me click that really quick and see if it should take me out to Amazon for that. It's $85 right now. And you go, Jim, $85 for a plug. Yeah. Yeah, $85 for a plug for this one. That's the one big drawback to this. Lutron, a little expensive, but for what you get, which is a weatherproof, good specs on both the cold and the heat. It's expected to be outside. You can use it on its own. Very rugged. If you were in conditions, this would be great around a pool. If you had a pool, if you had a plug for a pool, and it was going to be you had to have a plug there or a switch or whatever to it. That'd be great because it could get wet all the time. You wouldn't have to worry about that for the most part. No water's getting to the electrical components. They're sealed in the case, and that case is sealed up nicely. I use the TP Link. I also use TP Link. I've got one that's an TP Link, but it's an Energizer brand. It's outdoor smart plugs, 15, $20, maybe 25 now with all the stuff that's going on. You could buy 3 of those for that. Yeah, I've got a few of those too. And if you're going down that route as well, you can get that done. You can get that done for less for sure. But if you know what? I haven't had any of those plugs fail on me. They've been out there a couple years. They're not built the same. They're just not built the same when you look at them, but they've lasted. So your choice on this, but again, thanks to Lutron for sending this out for me to try it. It is something, I got it on the deck. I run an air conditioner off that thing. I don't have to worry about power draw on it or drawing too much power through it. Pretty good plug. Specs and link and full review out at theaverageguy.tv if you want to check it out. But big thanks to Lutron for sending it out to give it a try. Have requested the hub so I can kind of do an updated review with the hub. But if you're like I said, if you're in the Lutron space and you need an outdoor plug, if it's going to be around a lot of water or if it's going to be subjected to both hot or cold temperatures, maybe direct sunlight, this may be the plug that you want to have. So good. Thanks to Lutron for that as well. A couple weeks ago, no, actually about a week ago, I've been at work. I've been wanting to, I do a lot of multi-language podcasts. Like we podcast in French and in German, Portuguese, Spanish, Mandarin, Japanese, Arabic, and I've been running translator devices through an iPad or through my phone, through an iPhone. Some of the work, it's all been verbal. It's all been written, right? Shows up. I got to read it, which is okay, right? And it works. So this isn't anything new. But if you've been following the new AirPods, right? So AirPod Pro 3, which I picked up 2 weeks ago when they first came out, and they are promising. I mean, first of all, I mean, they've got noise canceling, what's great. They say twice the noise from the last one. Last last ones were pretty good. These are really good. I put them in. There's some fan noise down here. Hit the buttons. I mean, you go into darkness of sound with those. Really good from that standpoint. I haven't tried the Google ones or the Bose ones or the Beats ones. I'm sure they all do those, but the AirPods pretty good at that. What I really bought them for was the translation capabilities, right? So ordered them. The promise was you can put them in and talk to someone, have a conversation with someone, and it'll translate in ear, right? You'll get a voice that will talk to you in ear with the translations. So bought them. They came in. I kept trying them out and couldn't get them working. I was like, what is going on here? Why isn't this working? So I start watching the videos. I bought all these without watching one YouTube video, which is pretty amazing all on its own, right? Usually I've watched 1,000 videos and then I've fretted about the purchase and then I buy it and I take it out of my cart and I put it back in the cart and I take it out 1,000 times. These I just bought. It's like, no, we got to have these things going. So um started doing some research and I come to find out you need Apple Intelligence, right? It's in all the videos. There's 1,000 videos on these things out there about them now, but it's like, oh crap, I have an iPhone 12, which I've loved my 12. Like I've had that 12 for almost 5 years. Battery life's been great, still charges every day, never run out of charge during the day, great connectivity. It's been an incredible phone. I mean, the 12 has been very incredible. Sammy has a 13. I hope hers lasts as long as my 12 did. But I thought with the 17s coming out, and let me know in the chat if anybody else picked up a 17 or in the comments down on YouTube. Did you go out and get the orange? Get a strange color for a phone. Did you get the orange phone on the 17 Pro? So I thought, oh crap, I'm going to have to upgrade my iPhone, right? So last weekend, ordered through Apple the 17. I just got the regular 17, 256 memory on that storage. Enough for me. 2 cameras is enough. I don't do a lot of camera work. Don't need the necessary Pro. Really just needed the Apple Intelligence for the translations work that's going in there. Came in on Friday. No, came in on Saturday. Went and picked it up, and on Sunday paired the AirPods to them, and I didn't realize you still have to have the app, the translation app too. So got that installed, got that working. And on Monday, called my friend in Brazil, Raquel, and said, "Hey, let's chat for a little bit." And so, what I'm doing with them, they're no. If you have AirPods, I mean, the design is no new. Case is a little bit bigger. And then they changed the earbud piece of it a little bit. That's in there. Like they changed these just a smidge. Actually, now that I turn that on, I hope you guys can still hear me because it just said it connected to the Mac. Let me make sure you guys are still hearing me real quick. 1 sec here. Default. Okay, good. So as soon as I opened the case, it started connecting. And then I have the Audio Technica BPH1. That's the over the ear big headset. I use that for work. And put those over it. The reason I like those, they have a big ear. I mean, they are giant on your ears, and so it would cover the AirPods that I put in. And so turn the AirPods on, turn on live translation on the phone, get everything set, make the call, put the headphones over it, make the call. We start chatting, and I said, okay, from here on out, 100% Portuguese. Like, no, I don't want you talking. She knows English, but like 100% Portuguese. She's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's try this thing out." So started with some simple stuff and it worked pretty well. It shows up on the translation app but first, and then it kicks it over to the AirPods for the voice in your ears. And we carried on a 45-minute conversation. The last 20 minutes of it, pretty in depth. Like you kind of forget you're doing this at some point. And we had a fairly complicated conversation, all done with text and voice in the ear, and I was able to understand 99.9% of it. I thought, well, that's awesome. On the phone, you can download the languages too. So they're just supporting 5 languages right now: German, French, Portuguese, Spanish, and English. More the Asian languages are coming here at the end of the month. Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, maybe Thai. I forget which ones are coming, but there's a bunch coming here at the end of the month, end of October, which will be helpful to me as well in that case. So I thought, well, maybe it's Portuguese. So Tuesday, I had a check-in call with my partner in Mexico City, and I put the earbuds in and said only Spanish, and it worked really well. We had another very in-depth conversation. Her talking more than me, which was great because we were really testing the AirPods, and amazing. Like I have found, you know how this happens to me all the time. You buy a product, it's kind of overpromised, you get it, doesn't really work like it's supposed to, and you're like, oh, I was really hoping this would work better. I don't have any of those thoughts, right? Now, is it the universal translator from Star Trek? No, we're still not there yet. Like that's not realistic at this point. Are we better than we were a year or 2 or 3 ago with translation stuff? Yeah. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. I had both of them. Slowed the speech a little bit. They both are fast talkers, and so I had them slow down a smidge, but then they kind of forgot too and kept going, and it was working out just as well. So I'm not a big AirPod guy. I wear these when I podcast. I rarely wear headphones. I wear them during calls. The Ed and I tested these out. Ed Sullivan tested these out on Sunday when we get together. Microphone, no, sorry. It's never been very good on these. It's the microphones. I don't know. I don't know, Apple. Why can't you get better at that? That's one thing I'd love to see. And that's the big con on this. And everybody's like, "Oh, good, I can put these in and I can talk to you." You can, but listen. I got a pair of Bose 35 S's, and the microphone on there is so terrible. It's still back. It's way back here underneath the earbud or the headphone cover, and that's great sound. The Bose have great sound. The AirPods have great sound that's in there. Bass is really good in them. They've done some new designs to help get more air in there so it can push more of that. If you like this, I mean, I was listening to some music off Pandora the other day and I was like, I was hearing some of the background stuff I've never heard before. I was like, oh, it was a little bit like the first time I put a pair of Walkman headphones on. You remember that? I don't know if you guys remember those. But those things came out as junior high school, so early junior high maybe, or junior high, middle school as they call it now. And I remember putting that on for the first time and hitting a cassette tape, and you're like, "Oh my, this is life changing," right? I don't know if it's life changing. It's pretty good sound, right, on these. 250, 250. It's a little expensive for it. The AirPod 2s used to have a button on the back to do a connect. Now you just tap it twice on the front and it goes Bluetooth connection. Pretty good. And they fit me. Actually, the default, they send you 5 or 4 on a 4, ear pads for you to go in ear stuff. And I took the ones that were default and they work great. They fit really well. They're super comfortable for me. Now everybody's ears are a little bit different, right? And like Tony says out in chat, he said he finally got his to fit his ears correctly, but Pixel Buds still sound better to him. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure insert the. I'm sure this translation stuff is going to get everywhere eventually, but man, this was really good for me, and we'll have the ability to do those translations in real time now, and looking forward to monitoring more of the work that I do in real time with this. Works well with my phone, and for me, finally a purchase I don't regret. Now the iPhone on the other hand, although okay, let's be clear. So when I needed to upgrade, I have been following actually the upgrades for the iPhone. I didn't realize the 17 had just come out, and when I went to the Apple store on Saturday, the place was packed. I'm like, what's going on here? They were like, well, the 17 just launched. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. I mean, the place was jammed. It was like a city park on the first sunny day in the spring. I mean, it's crazy busy there, right? and people just lounging around. That was the weird thing. I literally went in. I ordered my phone online on Friday, no Thursday. Said I'd pick it up Saturday. They were going to ship it, but it's going to take 2 weeks. So I said, no, I'll just go to the Apple store and pick it up. Got there, it's crazy busy, but they just handed me the phone. I got in there. They're like, Mr. Collison, here's your phone. Walked out. I I don't know why people are hanging around in the Apple store. I don't get it. Anyways, I guess that's what they do. And got that home, got it set up. One of my friends at work has convinced me, Mike, who I've been working out with for the last year. He was like, "You should change to Visible, right? The service." I'd been T-Mobile, Sprint before that, and I'd been Sprint T-Mobile for the last 20 years. And he says they got plans for 25 and 35, 45 with your watch, and you ought to just think about it. Looked into it. I thought, oh, okay, I'll give Visible a try. Actually, I had switched the phone over on Thursday, last Thursday to Visible. I almost jumped on and did the show last week because I was so excited. The the jump from T-Mobile to Visible. Once I got T-Mobile to give me a code, right? You got to opt out. You got to get an opt out code. Once they got that code to me. Set up an account at Visible, put the code in, switched it over. 20 minutes up and running on a new service. Guys, remember that used to take 1,000 years to get that done, right? So phone switched over early in the week, and then when I got it home on Sunday, side by side, man, the both. I think the Pixels this way too, or the Samsung stuff. I don't know. I've had only had an iPhone for the last couple of years, but the switch over, God, this is crazy good, right? I mean, set the phones by each other, they update, takes an hour or two, you're done. Set up. None of the passwords come, so you got to find all those things. Got to enable Bit Defender, Bit Warden, Bit Warden, to make all that work. And John said, "How did the switch impact your internet service?" I actually get a little bit better in some spots. I get better internet with Visible. Now it's a Verizon, right? That's their version of like Cricket, right? That's their low end. Visible is their low end. Verizon's low end. I got 500 down and 50 up, which I didn't expect for a cut rate. Now your last priority on the network, and I'm not going to say it's the best service. We'll see how it goes. So far, so good. I haven't had any problems with it so far. Data's been good. Those kinds of those are kinds of things. He says, which I thought you were getting at T-Mobile. Yeah, about the same speed, about the same T-Mobile speeds. I don't see much of a difference. Service area is going to be a little bit different going from T-Mobile to Verizon. I'm basically using Verizon towers just because they're in different spots and different setup. I have a T-Mobile tower right by, but even here in Bellevue, I get great Verizon service. At work, it's a little different. Some different spots. We're down on the river, so there's some different spots where Verizon's better and it's worse and such. But when I'm at work, I'm on Wi-Fi, so I don't know how much that matters. But made the switch over. Have liked the new phone. A couple new features, right? There's a dedicated feature button here over on my right thumb. There's a new button to turn off the volume. And that's, again, it's been since the 12, so I'm sure these things came 15 and 16. But for me, bought the $10 case at Best Buy. This is the best deal I got right there. Kind of Best Buy's kind of the last case you'll ever listen. I bought one. The $50 case I bought when I got my 12 lasted me a year, maybe. And the silicone started peeling off of that thing. I bought the Best Buy case, Visionary, no, whatever, Insignia, something like that. And I bought it for $7 back in the day. It was 10 this time. That case never even showed wear. It looked the same when I turned the phone in. When I did send the phone back, I got $140 on the trade-in for that thing, which I thought was pretty reasonable for a 5-year-old phone. When I sent it back in, I just gave them the case. You can have the case with it. They'll throw it away, I'm sure. But it has been all that worked out really, really well. Didn't work out as good for Sammy when we got Sammy her own plan, and then she cut over her phone, and something didn't get set exactly right, and so the SIM was not connecting. Took me a while to figure it out. I turned the SIM off and turned it back on, and it was fine. But that cutover worked out pretty well. Listen, when we think about service, that's such a personal thing. I don't care if you use AT&T or Verizon or Cricket or T-Mobile. You use the service that's best for you. I was a little skeptical at first of this Visible. My buddy was like, "No, you got to give it a try. You can always go back." They were running a deal. I don't have a code, but they were running a deal, $22 a month for 6 months to come on, and then it'll go to like 45 because I have the phone. With some trickery, you can get it down to 40. That's not bad. $40, that's with tax. It's not bad. I kind of like that price, especially with everything else getting so expensive. It's pretty nice. Joe says in his area, let me find my mouse there. In his area, Verizon's horrible. Most of Arkansas, T-Mobile is faster, but not quite as much coverage that I had on Cricket. Yeah, you got to really coverage is a big deal, and I think you just kind of need to figure out what's the best coverage, and then get the best plan that works for you in that area. I don't know if I'd advocate for Visible yet. I've had a week. Yeah, a week. I don't know if I'd advocate for it just yet. Um, I will tell you, T-Mobile was sad to see me go. They sent me to a special retention person, and they offered me like $50 a month. I was like, then I got to call back in a year. It's like your internet service provider when you call them. This is famous in Omaha, right? We have Cox Communications, and Cox is famous for when you're going to leave them. They drop we'll give it to you for free or we'll do it half price for 6 months or whatever, and then it goes back up. And there's some folks who that's all they do is call every 6 months and get their rate lowered, through it. They were famous for that. T-Mobile made a nice effort. In fact, the guy said, "Oh yeah, I worked for Visible during the pandemic, and you're going to get lower priority and not as good as speeds." Okay, that's fine. I'll go. It's going to be after the 6 months. It'll be month by month, anyways. If it gets terrible, I can always switch back. You know, the good news was Sammy's been on our plan forever, and it was time. It was time for her to have her own plan, and so this helped get her on her new plan as well. So all worked out pretty well. And the 17's working. You know what the 17's working like? The 12. It makes phone calls, does data. I'm sure. Listen, I have Apple Intelligence, and the translation stuff is helped by the new chips and the Apple Intelligence, right? So, um, I obviously it's doing more and it's doing faster. I put the 12 in the 17's a little bit bigger, just a smidge bigger. I think it was 6.2 on the 12 and it's 6.3 on the 17 that I have. I almost they're identical. You turn them on, they're identical. I had great service with the 12. I had really intended to make the 12 last until it died. That was kind of the goal. I was going to be like, how long can I hold on to this phone for? And well, apparently until I needed Apple Intelligence to do the translation stuff. So it was a good change. Yeah, Tony says we pay 50 for each for an everything plan on T-Mobile. Yeah, yeah, that's good. And I don't that's not available to me in my market. I was we're more it's more in the 90s for us. And then Joe says he liked Cricket a lot. Cheap and good AT&T coverage, not particularly fast. The nail in the coffin was the last time I was in Mexico. It just wouldn't connect. And yeah. So good on you. I think we're with service providers. We're kind of to that point. Literally, they all work on the surface pretty much the same. The difference is service in your area, towers, some of those kinds of things. There are regional deals and some of those things happening. Shop around for what you love, what makes you comfortable, what works. So far, so good on Visible. Again, I'm not gonna pimp it or put a code out there. I'm not ready for that kind of thing yet, but I do feel like the incredible thing was for me in this was how easy it was to switch. It was just like, in fact, at the Apple store when I said, "Do you want to help me set this thing up?" And she's like, "Actually, you might have a better experience at home." And she looked around the store, it's all these people in there. She's like, "You might have a better experience at home." And Apple sent me an email that said, "Hey, if you want to talk, you can schedule a time with a technician to walk you through the setup, which was super cool. I didn't take advantage of it. It was super cool, but all is well. John says he's paying 100 a month for 3 phones on Google Fi. I think Sarah's on that plan, and she doesn't like. There's some Fi for her has some weird data things. She just doesn't like. And so she was like, "Hey, can I switch my phone over to Visible?" I'm like, "Yeah." She says, "Well, I'll think about it." So with that 6 month deal, that makes it pretty cheap. You just pay 6 months up front, and then kicks in at, like, for me, it'll kick in at 40 a month, which is good enough for me. Super cool. So some changes, doing some tech. Even it was kind of nice with the back being out and not being able to move around very much. I literally sat in this chair all weekend last weekend. Saturday did Ask the Podcast Coach, and I did here. This is how I did. You have to watch the video. If you're listening on the podcast, you don't get it. Maybe I'll spend the rest of the podcast doing this. But I sat like this the whole time. This is comfortable. I sat like this the whole time I did Ask the Podcast Coach on Saturday. Super comfortable. I'm gonna stay this way. I can go a little bit longer if I lean back like this. Makes me feel better. It's I got a nerve in my neck that's not liking me right now, so we'll get that figured out. But I literally sat here all weekend, and I thought, well, good opportunity. I'm glad I had the phone upgrade to work on. And of course, right, when you do an upgrade with your phone, going from the 12, which was Lightning, to now USB-C on the 17, I was all the cables needed to be changed, right? So, I had to go in. I love the short cable, so I had to go in and pick up some new USB-C to USB-C short cables. And then you start kind of thinking about, like, okay, what do I need for chargers? And I bought a new charger, so I got at Best Buy. I got a $10 case and a $20 charger, which is super cool. It's got a retractable USB-C cable that comes out just long enough for the nightstand, so I can retract that back in if I want, or pull that out. 45 watts, so fast charging on that piece. Not that, like, I haven't really even need to charge the phone very much. But you start, and I don't know about your philosophy. It used to be when I get a new phone, I would not buy any of the accessories, and then I kind of buy them as I go. And it seemed like I was always buying them right before I was trading them in again. Like, oh, I really need to get this, and you'd get it, and then I trade the phone in, then wouldn't be good anymore. I've kind of been going. You can throw your comments here in chat too if you want to on this. I've kind of gone to this philosophy for things like this: computers, phones, whatever. Buy everything you need the day you buy the device, or as much as you think you're going to need. If you're going to need a charger stand, if that's what you do, some people like those charger stands, puts everything together. Cabling, if you're changing cabling for some reason. By the way, it's not a bad time to update cables when you're doing the phone, right? Get some new cables for that thing, especially cables that have sat in the car for the last 2 or 3 years that have McDonald's salt on them. My lightning cables were getting the ends of the lightning cables in the car were getting a little worn off, if you know what I mean. So I've kind of decided, or I've kind of found that I'm going to I get a phone, I get as much of the accessories as I need right then. Get all that stuff. Just knock it out. Just get it all and use it all. Use it all so that you're you take most advantage of it. Then let me know in chat, what do you do? One of the cool things about this course, it's got charging on the back. You can use USB-C on the front, but it's got charging on the back. You know, it also has what will go on is the chargers for your watch, which is super cool. So down here I have 2 chargers. If I want to charge it up, I just throw it on the one for the watch. If I've got 2, so I can make that work. That's pretty cool. That works out pretty well. So Brian in chat, let's get to the chat room here really quick. Brian says, maybe picking up on the conversation about cell phones. He's on Visible. Yeah, $25 a month. Yeah, very happy with them. Wife's on Mint, even cheaper, but we need Verizon based due to road travel. Yeah, Brian, I didn't know anything about Visible. You've probably said it when you were on the show. I wasn't listening for whatever reason, and so it it's been a good switch. So we made the jump over to Visible. Tony says, or Joe says, we're on the T-Mobile 4-line plans for $100. That's a good deal. It's a really good deal. With Sarah, like I was trying to get Sammy off my plan, and then it's just me because Sarah's on Fi. She's on her own plan. So we're kind of the weird family where the guy has the iPhone and the lady has the Android phone. So that's kind of where we've gone. Sherwin says, well, if you move to Australia, 69 USD for 5 members. It's an old plan with a big provider, Opus. So yeah, that's cool. It's a really good price. Joe says hashtag should be in the box. Yeah, not everything's in the box. The iPhone, the 17, it came with one cable. That's it, and it was USB-C to USB-C. Not even a wall charger. I think they figure everybody's got them, right, from that standpoint, or they'll figure out what they want to do with it. So I love that though. Should be in the box. You're probably right. Sherwin says that can you salary sacrifice a phone in the U.S. as part of your work package? No, not that I know of. I imagine if it's part of your business, you could write it off on your taxes. I don't know, not a tax advisor, but not generally. Tony says he misses the days of the physical SIM. Yes and no. It was kind of nice in this case not to have a physical SIM. The eSIM made that changeover so much easier. And then when I went from the 12 to the 17 with Visible, you turn on, you get the phone, 17, install the Visible app, put your information in, and sign in, and then say I have a new phone. Starts looking for the other phone, which is crazy. I was like, found it. Do you want to cut it over? And like, yeah. And it just cut it over. It's magic. It was amazing. Couldn't believe how fast that was. Joe says he's still running physical Sims. Yeah, I remember the days when I did too. I could go either way. The eSIMs were pretty easy for me to get going. I think, and Brian, you can correct me if I'm wrong in chat. I think Visible also has international capabilities if I went to Mexico or something along those lines, and you get something with your plan. I don't plan to travel internationally for a while, so I don't plan to do any traveling for a while. But I think they've got some kind of service as well. So, but yeah, Tony says they're doing it for the environment and not the profits. Yeah, maybe. We all know what that means. So, anyways, a good weekend for that. This has been, you guys know me. I mean, I kind of labor over these kinds of changes. I talk about them for a while. I'd hint to them. I'd start it. I chicken out. This is actually one of those that went super fast for me, where I just like, nope, going in. One of the cool things, of course, I got a military discount from Apple, which was super cool. That was helpful. Brought that down to about $800 for that phone, and good experience all the way around. I was pretty happy. Yeah, Brian says he believes so. Yeah, international option for watch connection too. Yeah, it was nice, the watch setup. Actually, one more story as I kind of wrap this up on the watch. I was trying to look for the SIM. I was looking as we were thinking about making this change. I was looking for my watch SIM to see just the information on it, cellular information. When Sprint cut over to T-Mobile 2 years ago, maybe 3, it's been a while. I never converted my watch. So I've been paying 10, now $13 a month at T-Mobile for my watch cellular plan. Not using it. I never associated the new eSIM from T-Mobile. I did it on my phone. Never did it on my watch. And so this whole time it's just been connected to it was connected to my phone. And I kind of thought twice about this, like, okay, if I went 3 years or 2, whatever, without a cell plan on my phone, or I'm sorry, I mean on my watch, and I never noticed it, do I really need it? Tree falls in the forest, and if there's no one there to hear it, does it make a sound? Right? I was kind of like, do I really need a watch plan? Well, I caved. I was like, yeah, I'll get it set up. It's back on sale, and it'll be nice. It'll be nice when I'm working out. I'm outside, and I don't necessarily have my phone with me, knowing I can do more. If I need to, I can make the call off my phone or whatever. So, by the way, the watch is a 4. There's all kinds of deals to upgrade that too. I thought I've done enough. I've done enough at this point. So, I don't think we'll do any more for a while unless the watch dies. Sure, there's lots of great stuff on the new watches that I could do, but I think I'm good for now. I think I'm good. I think we'll. I say that, and the next week I'll have a new watch in there. But my watch is a 4, so it was even older than my phone. I don't know what I think we're up to 10 or 11 right now at this point. So it's a little older. I love the watch. Actually works out pretty well. I do like the Apple Watch. I at first I thought, do I really need a $500 watch? You know, as Uncle Mars says, do you really need a watch? I do. I like it. I like it a lot. I use it a lot. I use the notifications on it a lot. Changing over to the new phone, reset all the notifications, and now I'm getting everything. I'm kind of questioning that. I need to go back in and reset the notifications so I don't get so many. Like, I don't know about you, but I really, I don't need Facebook notifications coming through to my watch. Don't need it. Right. Um, at work, I do need Teams. So I need Teams coming through. That would be very, very helpful. I can't, if I have every single email account coming to my watch, I'm getting notified like every 5 minutes. So I need to lock some of that stuff down. And just with the changeover to the phone, everything reopened back up, and I need to get it locked down. So, um, yeah. So it's been a busy week. Doing in a good move. Is the 17 better than the 12? It's different, you know. I think we're to that spot. I don't know. We're due for a change in phone form factor, right? I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, we're going to get it in the glasses," or you're gonna get some kind of headset, or there's going to be something else. I don't know, but the phone stuff's kind of boring at this point. You're like, well, it makes calls. I can surf the web. I can get my email. The translation stuff is cool. That's cool for sure. And so that's good. That is good to have. That's going to help me out a ton. And I've been using a form of it before, but boy, the translation stuff now, the way it's set up now, I can have some significant conversations that I couldn't have before. And here by the end of the month, I'll be able to do it in even more languages. And I'm sure that's coming. One of those interesting things, speaking of languages, and I'll wrap it with this. YouTube, I don't know if you noticed, but YouTube is now enabling a new language option inside their accounts, and it'll actually dub it for you in 13 languages. Now, the way I do it, the my channel on YouTube now, I upload it from Auphonic to YouTube, and for some reason, it's not working the same as if I had uploaded it. I've got to figure that out. Why that's not working. But in theory, from here on out, we could live dub, not live dub, but we could dub in 13 different languages, right? You get the old kung fu lips. Remember that? If you're as old as me, when we used to watch cartoons and the lips would be saying something, but the voice would be saying something else. Get a little bit of that on the dubbing, right, on YouTube. But certainly live closed caption transcriptions. No, that's not the right word. Translations are available today on YouTube. I mean, it'll live transcribe it into anything. Like, it's crazy good. The dubbing is getting better, which is kind of cool. And I think where they're headed with that is the dubbing for my voice. So today it dubs in somebody else's voice. I think eventually it'll dub in the voice on the video. I don't know how many trees or how many forests we're gonna have to cut down for that power to do that work. But I think we're pretty close to that, where instant dubbing in that language, I we're not far. I think it's just a money and power thing, and not power like military power, but power like electrical power. So I think we're close on that. So that's been a pretty cool, when we think of language, that's been a pretty cool feature. We use it at Gallup we do a every other month community call, and it's been great to be able to dub those into, it supports most of the languages we support. So upload it, let it go in 6 hours or so, 5, 6 hours, it's dubbed, and folks can come in, they don't have to do closed caption, they can just listen to it. I've had a couple people listen to it and say, "I mean, it works. It's not the best. It works." Well, that's better than it was before, not working at all. And so this area of languages, I've told people a lot that if I could have a superpower, it would be to speak all languages. That would just be awesome. But I can't. So hopefully technology will be able to solve that for me as well. Yeah, Brian says live translation tech is amazing. Yeah, it's getting crazy good. I just think there's a day coming. We put the AirPods in or whatever it is, and they're almost instantaneous. You know, one of the crazy things I realized is as I was doing these translations or listening to these, Portuguese or Spanish, and it was translating it for me. w- We don't actually listen to the whole sentence, right? Because I was reading to where I got the point, and then I could hear it start telling me what they were saying, and it was enough that I could respond. When they would stop talking, I could almost instantly pick up, like what we do in regular language, right? Where you just stop and the other person starts. And you could start where they stopped and get going. And while you were saying something, it was finishing the sentence for you in your ear. Now, for some folks, that's kind of weird. For me, that was cool. Like I was like, I can do that all day long. Like that's a multitasking thing. I know technically we can't multitask, but that's a multitasking thing I can do all day long. And so sped up because otherwise you're having, if you're waiting for the translation to complete in your ears, there's this kind of awkward thing in between. It's like, when you watch the news folks and they're on satellite somewhere, like they're coming in on satellite and the guy throws it over. "Hey, Bob, tell us, how's the hurricane in the Gulf?" Bob's standing there just looking at the camera. And you're thinking, did Bob hear that? Right. Right. Then Bob's like, "Oh, hey, it's great here." Right. The news folks have figured out that gap for sure. They're okay with it. That used to be super awkward, right? I think we too with these translations will get the gap figured out. I actually think it's for some, again, because a lot of the time we get what we need early in the sentence. And you're like, "Oh, okay, I know where they're going with this. I can almost finish it." And you can at least get it started and then listen to the last part of it and then finish what they said. That's pretty cool. I think that's the future of it for sure. I don't know. Maybe Elon will have things that he'll plug into our head and they'll do all that stuff for us. Who knows? Who knows? Um, well, guys, thanks for coming out tonight. I appreciate you guys being here for me this evening, and I'm starting to tighten up a little bit, so I think I'm gonna call it a show. I am getting for folks joining late. I am healing a little bit better. I did some nerve damage in my back somehow, and we've been getting physical therapy and been working with the chiropractor, and no, not necessarily the doctors just yet. That's a little more than I want to do. Right, I want to see if it'll heal before we start doing those kinds of things. But I needed the therapy anyways before any doctor would look at me. So we're working through that. The pain is still there. It's a little bit of a thing, but we're getting through it. It's better today than it was yesterday, and it keeps getting better. So I appreciate you guys' patience with that. Brian, thanks for those kind words in chat as well. And I need to get. I'll tell you what, it really hurt me was when in listen, as you're listening to this, if you suffer from chronic pain, I am sorry. Like I am truly sorry. This has made me realize just how hard that is. Now, I'm on the very edge of the chronic pain. Like I am sure mine is nothing compared to people who really suffer with it. But kept me awake at night, and you're exhausted at the end of the day because you've been dealing with pain all day, and it's just not. It's horrible, and I'm super sorry if you struggle with a chronic illness or chronic pain that's there all the time, and there's nothing you can do to make it better. I am sorry. Like I got a little glimpse into that world, and I'm like, oh man, that's awful. You begin to think like this is never going to get better. And I remember the first day it did get better for me. And I'm like, oh, like it was such a happy day. Like, oh, this is starting to get better for me. So I just want to say, listen, if you're a sufferer of chronic pain, I am sorry. I have a lot of sympathy for you now, and I hope you can do whatever you can do to make it better. Um, it's awful, and it's good to be a little bit on the other end of it. I'm not out of the woods yet, but it is getting better. Thanks for you guys to support the community as well. Many kind words have been said, and I appreciate that as well. Will, I need to. Oh, I was going to say, I didn't finish that thought. I was going to say, because I was so tired all the time, I would just come home and I just sit here. I didn't want to do anything. I haven't scheduled anything. So, for some of you, you'll be getting a phone call not a phone call. I'm not calling anybody. You'll be getting an email from me saying, hey, it's time to get you scheduled to be back on the show. We'll get some things lined back up. And actually, tonight worked out really well because of that Lutron. Needed to do that little bit for Lutron, have that in there as well, and get it. It's fun. Get a solo show in, and good to have you guys out for it as well. We are live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern, and that is yes, that's correct. 8 p.m. Central. I'm moving it back to 8 o'clock. So sorry, I tried 7. Worked for some. It was okay for me. Didn't really work for me. Actually, I didn't like it. We're going to move it back to 8. Sorry. If 7 was better for you, I am sorry. But it maybe sorry, not that sorry. It'll be good to get it back at 8. So we'll be back at 8 if you want to join us for a live show going forward. We've done that for 1,000 years. I still say it without thinking about it. So but we'll be back, I think, next Thursday. If not, it'll be the Thursday after that. Big thanks to Christian over there at Maple Grove Partners. Get secure, reliable, high-speed hosting from people that you know and you trust. Of course, you know that's Christian, big sponsor of the show. And I did get him booked December. Oh, boy. That could be a problem because I think I just booked something for that day. December 4th. I may have to change. No, it's the 2nd I did that. So I think I'm okay. Maybe. But 15th anniversary show is coming up. We'll get that figured out one of the days. My work schedule's gotten a little nuts, but that's coming up as well. Man, Christmas, it'll be here before we know it. You guys ready? Ready for Christmas? Hope so. It's coming up fast. It's going to happen before you know it. And you're like, Jim, Halloween's over, friends. Like, there's already Christmas stuff in the stores. So get ready for Christmas. And we will see you next time we see you. For everybody listening live, thanks for coming out. I'll do a little bit of a post show. If you're listening to the podcast, thanks for all that you do and all that you listen for. That sentence didn't make any sense because I'm getting in pain. With that, we'll say goodbye, everybody. Whew. Friends, I got I'm starting to sweat. The pain. One of the things I've noticed with the pain is I get really warm. At night I would wake up and start rolling over and it would just hurt. And I just would get hot. Like the body's trying to do something, right? Feeling that right now. So anyways, the Brian says we just stopped 100-degree temps. Can't think about Christmas yet. Yeah. Sorry, Brian. You do live in the hottest place on earth, right? Maybe not the hottest, but it's pretty hot. It's pretty warm there for sure. Randy says the worst pain I've ever experienced was MRSA infection. I don't know what that is. In my left forearm. Well, no infection sounds good for sure. The most pain, Brian says it's a dry heat. Appreciate it. That's always funny. Tony says MRSAs don't play. Worst pain I ever had was, and Randy, sorry. How long did that last, Randy? How long was that infection? I broke my leg back in 03, did a number on it and I got a plate with 6 screws in there. And it took a week and a half to get into surgery. And then they had to surgically put it back together. And I was in a cast for 12 weeks. And the 2 weeks leading up to the surgery were awful. And then just about the time you start feeling a little bit better, you have surgery, right? And then you have a surgical cast for 3 weeks, maybe. And then they cut the surgical cast off, and wanted to make sure my foot was in the right position, for the permanent cast or the next cast, whatever they call that. And that adjustment just sent me over the edge. And I remember getting back in the car. Sarah, was driving me, of course, because my right foot, so I couldn't drive. And any foot you're probably not supposed to be driving with cast on. And I came home and cried. I mean, I cried for like a half an hour. So it was so bad, and it was super hard. Randy says 9.5 days off work, 4 in the hospital. Yikes! Surgery to clean it out. Yeah, that's awful. That is awful. And Uncle Marv says, had an MRSA, stomach area, the worst. I won't even, Tony, I won't even try to pronounce that. Whatever it is, it's on the screen for the video. It sounds awful. Anytime you have strep in there, that whatever, that's not good. Ugh. Decent chunk of my forearm is now missing from how much tissue is dead. Yikes. Well, Randy, sorry about that. I couldn't. This has given me a new appreciation for pain and just dealing with it. I think the hardest part, and maybe I was saying this in the pre-show, I think the hardest part is sleep. To be honest, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're just in pain, and you're like, I'm not going back to sleep. And that happened to me last night. And then I had this thought, I'm like, oh man, the pain's coming back. And I'm like, no, I was having trouble sleeping before this happened. So I'm not sure it was the pain that necessarily was keeping me from sleeping. I probably have other issues that I have to worry about. So yeah, make sure. Randy does say it's a great scar though. Yeah. It is, yeah, those things are tough for sure. I'm sure, Tony, you got some stories, some things you've seen. I just appreciate being healthy is, it's it's not overrated at all. It's good that for sure. John, I'll have to tell you this. I'll have to tell you this offline, so we can connect at some point. It's kind of fun. But no hurry, John. No hurry. No hurry. It's just a funny story. I'll connect with you at some point. All right, friends. Thanks for. Let's see if there's anything else. Anything else to update you on? Anything new? Yeah, it's all good. It's good to be on the mend. It's good to be back. Good to be. This is much more comfortable of a position, and some new gear and some new equipment. And I need to mow. So I'm hoping I haven't mowed in a couple weeks. So it'd be good to get out there and mow and get the body moving again. I have been working out again, which has been nice. So I've been able to get out and walk, get some yard work done. I probably try to take it easy. I almost bought a robot mower during this. I was like, if I can't mow, maybe this is the excuse I need. Sarah's sitting right over there, so I have to be careful. But I was like, maybe this is the excuse I need to get a robot lawnmower. My buddy at work wasn't as convinced. He was like, you'll be fine. I'll come mow your lawn for a week or two if that's what it takes. Fortunately, it's fall, so things have slowed down a little bit and in that space. So all right, friends. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for your friendship. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight and getting me through this part. If you want to hang out again, I'll be hanging out with Dave Jackson Saturday morning. Ask the Podcast Coach, 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. Always super fun. I'm hoping I'll be able to sit up a little more. Although I'll be on. Randy comes out sometimes, but this is more comfortable. I may just go. I may just go to this full time. This is a great way to sit. So, good night, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you next week.